Just take a look at me now.
What happens when the spotlight stays on, but the magic quietly fades? It's a question fans don't like to ask, but one we can't keep ignoring. There comes a moment when even the greatest voices begin to struggle, when the energy that once electrified arenas starts to dim. And while it's never easy to say, some legendary singers have reached a point where stepping away might be the most respectful choice for themselves and for the legacy they built. This isn't about disrespect, it's about reality. Years on the road, constant vocal pressure, and ongoing health challenges take their toll on anyone. Time doesn't pause for fame, and even icons aren't immune to its effects. What once felt effortless can slowly become a fight to keep up. Today, we're taking an honest look at those music legends who may be holding on a little too long. Artists whose brilliance shaped generations, but whose performances now hint that it might be time to take a final bow. Because sometimes, knowing when to step away is the most powerful performance of all. 1. Frankie Valli. Frankie Valli is a true legend. His music shaped an entire era, and songs like Sherry and Can't Take My Eyes Off You will always be timeless. But today, things are very different. At over 90 years old, the voice that once amazed millions just isn't the same anymore. At his recent performances, many fans have noticed something worrying. He barely sings, while backup singers carry most of the show. He steps in for a few soft lines, but the energy and strength that once defined him are no longer there. Some people even say it feels uncomfortable to watch, like someone being pushed on stage when they should be resting. This isn't about tearing him down, it's about being honest. Frankie Valli has already given so much to the world. His legacy is secure, and nothing can change that. Maybe now the best thing he can do for himself and for how we remember him is to step away from the stage with grace and let the music speak for itself. 2. Steven Tyler. In August 2024, Aerosmith made the painful decision to retire from touring for good. At the center of it all was Steven Tyler, whose voice had been the heart of the band for decades. After suffering serious vocal cord damage during a show in September 2023, doctors confirmed the injury to his larynx was permanent, with no clear way back to full recovery. Now in his mid-70s, the man known for his powerful, high-energy performances faced a reality no artist ever wants to accept. The voice that once shook arenas around the world could no longer carry the same strength. For over 50 years, Aerosmith dominated rock music, selling more than 150 million records and creating unforgettable hits like Dream On and Walk This Way. Their music wasn't just popular, it defined a generation. When the band shared their farewell message, it hit fans hard. It wasn't just the end of a tour, it was the closing chapter of a legendary run. And with that, Steven Tyler's iconic scream, the sound that once echoed through packed stadiums, finally came to rest. Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan has nothing left to prove when it comes to music. His influence is massive, and his place in history is already secure. But if you've watched him perform live in recent years, you can probably see why more fans are starting to feel conflicted. At 84, the shows don't feel the same anymore. What used to be powerful performances now sometimes feel slow and heavy, like something you sit through instead of get pulled into. His voice, once so sharp and expressive, has changed a lot.
follow me with you.
These days, it leans more into a rough, almost spoken style that some listeners describe as hard to follow. Then there are the song changes. Dylan has always liked to remix his own work.
In a gentle tag of morning, I'll come follow me with you.
But now it can feel like he's taken it so far that even longtime fans struggle to recognize the songs. Familiar classics can come across as distant versions of themselves, almost like covers instead of originals. Even loyal supporters admit that some shows feel quiet, low energy, and a bit difficult to stay engaged with. He rarely speaks to the crowd, keeps movement to a minimum, and the connection that once defined his concerts doesn't always come through. At this stage, it's not about questioning his legacy. That part is untouchable. The real question is whether continuing like this adds anything new or slowly takes away from what made him so great. For many, it feels like the right moment for him to step back, take a final bow, and let the legend stand strong on its own. 4. Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne's story reached its final chapter. Known as the Prince of Darkness, he built a legendary career and sold more than 100 million records around the world. But in his later years, his health began to slow him down. Parkinson's disease, repeated breathing issues, and a serious neck injury in 2019 made it too difficult for him to keep touring. Then something unforgettable happened. On July 5, 2025, Ozzy stepped back onto the stage one last time. He headlined the Back to Beginning Festival in Birmingham, performing again with Black Sabbath. Fans and critics saw it as a powerful and emotional goodbye, a moment that felt bigger than just another concert. Just 17 days later, on July 22nd, Ozzy Osbourne passed away at the age of 76. 5. Willie Nelson.
You're always on.
At over 90 years old, Willie Nelson is still putting out albums like Oh What a Beautiful World and Working Man Sings Merle, and that alone is something special. But there's a clear line between honoring a legend and watching him struggle through live shows. These days, his voice feels like a fading campfire, still warm, still meaningful, but no longer burning strong. Fans who attend his concerts often notice uneven delivery, weaker projection, and a man who seems tired early on.
Baby, I can hold you.
And the truth is, no one wants to see someone of his greatness slowly wear down under the spotlight. His music and legacy are already secure. At this stage, he has nothing left to prove. Stepping away wouldn't mean giving up, it would mean choosing peace over pushing too far. 6. Phil Collins.
How can you just walk away from me when all I can do is watch you leave?
Before everything changed, Phil Collins was everywhere. Hit songs, massive tours, and over 100 million records sold with Genesis and on his own. He wasn't just a drummer, he became one of the biggest voices in pop and rock. But in 2007, a serious spinal injury turned things around. Nerve damage made it impossible for him to keep playing drums the way he once did. During Genesis's final tour, his son Nick took over on drums while Collins performed sitting down.
Never talked about it, but I hear the blame.
The last show happened on March 26, 2022 at the O2 Arena. By 71, he officially stepped away. For someone who defined an entire era of music, it wasn't a choice, it was something life forced on him. 7. David Coverdale.
The last few years has been very evident to me that it's time really for me to hang up my...
Not long ago, David Coverdale finally said what many had been expecting. It was time to walk away. And honestly, it felt overdue. Over the years, fans saw his performances become more difficult. Ongoing throat and sinus issues led to canceled shows and vocals that weren't as strong as they used to be. Even with help from backing singers, it was clear the strain was there. People who watched Whitesnake on their final tours often noticed how exhausted he looked, pushing through something his body couldn't fully handle anymore. His stage presence and personality never faded, but the voice that once defined him was clearly changing.